Welcome back, hunters. In this episode, I think I would take some time and talk about Ranger. Why play Ranger? Why bother with it? It's a topic I wanted to cover for a while. I've had a few viewers of my channel ask me, why do you stick with Ranger? In spite of all of its shortcomings, why even bother with it? And I think this comes down to the person hunting, really. Personally, for me, I think Ranger offers the most authentic hunting experience I've ever had in any hunting game, period. Together with the aging system, being able to visit herds, pick out low genetics, and actually hunt in that fashion, that combo, is the best thing, period. We have Classic, which allows you to hunt in a very realistic fashion, but there's no aging system to it. And I feel this is what sets Way of the Hunter apart, is that we have an aging system, but we can actually age our trophy. It's not simply based on spawns, grind, and all this kind of stuff. You're literally watching your animals grow. You have semi-control of that, which I think adds a whole different layer onto the hunting experience. Now, the problem with Ranger is that, as good as it is, there are some shortcomings. And this is due to the fundamental system of the game. You see, Way of the Hunter was developed mostly for the European market. I'm not sure how big trophy hunting is over there, but it seems to be a game but it seems to be for the locale, or the people that hunt there, are not totally big on certain species, not really big on trophies. As a result, the game was made in such a way that people in the West would not appreciate it. It would be lacking. Which is exactly the case. People in the West are used to games jam-packed with rares, variations, the whole thing. And Way of the Hunter came on the scene and it felt incomplete. It felt as if, on some levels, the devs didn't know what they were doing. It felt like they were reluctant to add certain things that people are asking for. And in the West, it's things that we have grown to expect in a hunting game. Why wouldn't you have the basic things? But that is a different philosophy from the studio, and it is what it is. In spite of everything, this is definitely one of the best hunting games out here on the market. It's totally overshadowed by the negatives, which I totally understand. It is what it is. If the game is lacking certain things, you're going to piss off a lot of players. Players won't really enjoy it. You're not going to play it. So the people that are left playing the game are people who really genuinely enjoy the system. It's not for everyone, but for what it is, for what it offers us, we feel that is definitely one of the best hunting experience for us. That may not be the case for other players. So here's the thing. Growing up in the Caribbean hunting, I hunted for survival. Trophy hunting is never a thing. I didn't know about that concept until I came to the West. So when I moved here and I realized hunters hunt for sport, that threw me for a loop because that's never a concept in my mind. So when I come to a hunting game and I see trophies, that really don't mean anything much to me because that's not something I do in real life. I'm not hunting an animal for its rack. I'm hunting to eat. So my philosophy on hunting will be different to those who hunt for sport. And I know there's some hunters who hunt for both. They hunt for sport, and they hunt and they actually eat the animals. For me, I solely just eat the animals. That's it. I have no concept of what trophy hunting is. Now, thanks to Way of the Hunter and other games, I enjoy it. I enjoy getting a nice trophy, a nice rare animal, but that is not what I hunt for in real life. So I don't care about those things. It doesn't affect me. This is why I can enjoy Way of the Hunter for its limited species, list and the animals it features, because that's good enough for me. What matters to me is the experience of stalking. So basically hearing the animal, as we're hearing some muleys I think we have here, and approaching the animal. This concept, a lot of games don't get right. In fact, no game gets right but this, in my opinion. Being able to hear this animal up ahead and stop, position myself, approach the animal, and have the animal behave in the way that it does is absolutely brilliant. I think this is where Way of the Hunter shines, in my opinion. No other game offers me this type of tension and this type of banter between the hunter and the animal. I know if I don't approach this animal properly, they're gonna spook, and I lose that opportunity. While that's the case in other games, the tension that builds between me and the animal is not there. Either the animal starts running out, coming to the player, they spook before you even see them. There is not a chance for you to actually sneak up on an animal or a herd the way you do in Way of the Hunter. It's different. And that doesn't jive with a lot of players. Some players like that, and I'm one of them. So for me, Ranger offers a way of hunting that I can hunt in real life, or the way I hunted growing up. It allows me to hunt in that fashion, and that's all I need. That is what draws me to this game. So I do whatever I can in Ranger when it comes to herd management to figure out ways that I can work things out sort of in my favor. As we know, there's no secret that the predators in this game is not good. Actually, they're terrible when it comes to judging age, because all the models are the same. If there's any difference, it's so little that you can't really see it. And that is the downfall of this system, is that when they make Ranger, there's no thought process as to how people would start judging age, maturity. Granted, in real life, if you encounter bears and stuff, you may not see much of a difference between them. You probably can't even tell, wolves apart, in the wild, unless you're pretty versed with that. But at least you would see variations. And here we don't have that. And the hunting experience sort of falls short when it comes to those aspects. But everything else, it's an awesome hunting experience. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I advocate very highly for Ranger, for them to improve it. I don't think that's going to happen, because the people who enjoy Ranger, it's such a small percentage. It's probably not really worth your time to invest to please those kind of people. So I get it. So we take the good with the bad. Some animals we can hunt. We can tell the difference when it comes to aging, and other animals we can't. We got some whitetail coming our way. Let's see if we can pull one of them. So by taking the good with the bad, you simply have a game where you can sort of roleplay and enjoy at your own leisure. It is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. But I definitely enjoy the experience. This for me is what hunting is. I can hunt the way I hunt in real life, the way I grew up hunting, and that's good enough for me. That may not work for other hunters. That might turn you off. You want variations. You want to be able to judge maturity and all of that, because it's a huge part of the game and it's lacking. So I get why it might turn you off, but that's really what it is. So we got the 243. Brand new save. Playing solely on Ranger. Trying something different here so we can really effectively find a formula and a system where we can get 5 stars, get trophies here, playing on Ranger, because it's pretty tough. When you cannot tell age and all of that, it gets really, really challenging. But we love the challenge here. Okay, so we got 2 guys coming in here. question is, are they following call? I think they are. Sometimes it gets pretty tricky sometimes the way they come in. Because you never know if they're actually responding to your call or they're just walking in your direction. Thought I would see some blood here, but I see nothing yet. But we know he went this way. But there's no blood trail. That's the thing with Ranger, is that there is no hand holding. You have to go search for yourself for all the blood, for all the tracks. That's something you got to take upon yourself to do. Now this becomes a lot of work for the average person. If you really like this kind of stuff and you're in love with this kind of stuff, you will have no problem with it. But if you ever have a reserve where you feel you're not really getting the most out of Ranger or the mood, then you won't play it. And again, don't torture yourself. It is what it is. If you can't really fully enjoy it, then don't bother with it, because Ranger takes full dedication. This game is not a joke. Right? When you really start getting into herd management here, like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of tracking, and you really got to be in love with that kind of system. Being able to do that, you need to see value in doing that. And if you don't, and you can't really justify your time spent, then yeah, don't play it. That's all I can say to you. I mean, you don't want to be wasting your time. For those who want to invest, there's a lot of value here. Just the not knowing, guessing, is absolutely fantastic. To me, that's what makes Ranger special, is that I don't know what I'm shooting. When I'm in the wild, I don't know what I'm shooting. Besides gender, I don't know the age of animals. And here I get the opportunity to do the same. Just missed that artery right through. Yeah, it's about 18 meters. Very nice shot. So we got a 48%, 1 star. Yep, that looks about right. We'll take it. So we got the herd just up ahead here. Try calling them again, see if we can lure the other male that was in there. This is what Ranger is all about. There's no helping hand. You're hunting with full immersion. And again, if those things about predators and stuff bother you, then you probably won't have a good time. But if you can find a way to have fun with that, there's a lot of fun here to be had. No game is perfect, and Way of the Hunter definitely isn't. So you kind of have to take the good with the bad if you want to play Ranger. Just know that you won't be able to judge. Just know that you won't be able to judge certain animals. It is what it is. For me, I hunt them a lot differently. So, example, wolves. Pretty much all the models are the same. I found a little bit of imperfections here and there, but I can't be sure how reliable that is. Works for me, I don't know how it's going to work for someone else. So the way I hunt wolves is that I can identify all the genders, so I know how much males are in the pack, and then I start weeding out based on size, using the collar, low fitness, and it's work. You got to put in that work. Right? That may not be fun for some people, but it is fun for me. And that's how I play it. And although I'm weeding out by low genetics, since I cannot see, what star or how they're growing, I have to count and track their days. And I gotta hope for the best. So I'm gonna use my caller, and if nothing is responding to my caller, I let them be. I mark the herd, and I just allow them to grow. And when it comes to the end of their life cycle, I come, I use my high fitness caller, and I hope for the best. That's really what it is, because you just don't know. And for me, that not knowing is fun. For someone else, that may not be fun. But that's how I go about doing that. And I'm going to get into some more detail of the way I hunt, so you can actually see it in action. You know, and that's what I try to do on my channel, is really push this ranger hunt, because I really enjoy it. I'm passionate about it. And I take the good with the bad. It is what it is. Some species I just simply don't hunt because I don't enjoy them. And worst again, you can't really judge them, right? But for the species that I like, I'm having a lot of fun with. So I'm always trying to find a way to see how we can make Ranger better for us as players, in spite of the shortcomings. Something's out of our hands, and maybe we can find a way to circumvent in a way that we develop a system in a way that we can find some level of effective way of hunting. And that's really that's all to it. So again, if you are into hunting like this, with realism, with immersion, some guessing, I think you would love Ranger. Anything outside of that, if you're uneasy about shooting animals that are high fit, because you just don't know what you're shooting, then again, don't torture yourself, you won't have fun. It's going to always be this thought in your mind where you feel uneasy and you just can't enjoy the game. So I don't think I'm getting a response here. But they're dressed up in this direction. I know some players play on Hunter, which I think is the best of all worlds. You can turn Hunter sense on whenever you need it, turn it off. But again, when you have the option to make your life a little easier, which is human nature, you find yourself using that in spite of what you might think. So you might go in thinking, I'm not going to use Hunter Sense a lot until I have to, and then you realize you start using it because you can. Because the option is available to you. But when you're on Ranger, you don't have that. It's a complete removal of that system. So it becomes a different beast. So again, it all comes down to the person. What you enjoy, if you can handle some not knowing, if you like mystery, Ranger is absolutely perfect for that. Because when you get a nice 5-star wolf, something that you worked hard on trying to judge, trying to cultivate with mystery, and you actually get a 5-star, that celebration is even, to me, more worth it. It's amazing. I can't tell you when last I got a 5-star. It's a long process, especially depending on your hunting style. But when you do get it, it's so rewarding. The moment-to-moment hunts is so rewarding. Not having bubbles pop up, not having the star system in your face. Just you, the world, and the animals. It's a different beast. And I encourage people to try it out, at least just to see if you like it. May not be for you, but when it clicks, if it clicks, it's a good time. And I feel very fortunate to have a game that allows us to play this way, in spite of its shortcomings. So I definitely think we got a whitetail coming in here. Let's check our wind. Wind is decent. Yeah, I was kind of skeptical. I didn't think I was getting a response before, but we got something now. That other guy was what, 48%? So I can't wait to see what this guy would be. And that's how I judge my herds. I do this over time. And slowly you will see that. And slowly you will see that the animals will go from being in the 40s or 30s, and if we start getting animals that are in their 50s, 50%. You see? So it's a gradual thing, and that takes time. It takes a lot of time calling a lot of herds in the area, so you're gonna have to be patient. But it's so rewarding. So we're definitely cleaning up this herd here. Taking out all these low genetic. I think he's down already, guys. I think he just dropped here. Yep. He didn't even go... He couldn't even go far. So 12 meters out. Beautiful shot. We just clipped the top of the heart. We got that left lung. Absolutely smoked him. It's a really nice quarter shot. Didn't get any of the bone, that shoulder bone or anything. Just a clean hit. Another 48%. So you can tell that this herd in this area is decent genetics. So if we keep this up, soon our herds are going to be over 50%. And then we're going to keep growing the herds like that in the entire area. And before you know it, we got a 5-star. Very nice herd. I hope the little chat about Ranger gives you some insight into how it is, what it is, why I play Ranger. Because again, at the end of the day, it comes down to you as the player. What can you tolerate? What can you live without or live with? It's really down to you. And for me, my threshold is pretty high, and because of my background and the way I hunt as a spear hunter, this provides me with the most realistic experience that I can get in a hunted game, considering all the features that Way of the Hunter has, like the aging system and such. This is where it's at. So that's something you have to think about for yourself. Is this the experience you want to have? Is it torture for you? Is it too much? Does it become a chore? And if that's the case, then Ranger is not for you. But if you enjoy all of this micromanaging, really detailed work, taking your time, and really building your herds in mystery, not knowing, which you would do mostly in real life, besides the herd managing, besides the gender, like I said, you really don't know much of what you're shooting or how old these bucks are unless you're really tracking them. So in some ways, having a little mystery is nice. I like it. Really, really adds to the game. I mean, if we had situations in Ranger where we can know things for sure, I don't think it would have the appeal that it does. If there were telltale signs of certain things on animals that just tells you what they are, or you can kind of figure out what they are, it sort of takes away that edge. So it's a catch-22. You kind of want variation, you want a way to sort of tell, but you don't want too much. You don't want it to become a situation where in Ranger you're able to just look and say, okay, that's an adult. It sort of takes away. So sometimes you kind of have to be careful what you ask for. And sometimes taking the good with the bad is actually great. So let me know what you think in the comments. How you feel about Ranger, if you have interest in trying it, you don't like it. Please share your views. So thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.